From Paul to a church family at Philippi. My dear, dear friends, I love you so much. I do want the very best for you. You make me feel such joy, fill me with such pride. Don't waver. Stay on track, steady in God. I urge Euodia and Syntyche to iron out their differences and make up. God doesn't want his children holding grudges. And oh, yes, Syzygus, since you're right there to help them work things out, do your best with them. These women worked for the message hand in hand with Clement and me, and with the other veterans, worked as hard as any of us. Remember, their names are also in the book of life. Celebrate God all day, every day. I mean, revel in him. Make it as clear as you can to all you meet that you're on their side, working with them and not against them. Help them see that the Master is about to arrive. He could show up any minute. Don't fret or worry. Instead of worrying, pray. Let petitions and praises shape your worries into prayers, letting God know your concerns. Before you know it, a sense of God's wholeness, everything coming together for good, will come and settle you down. It's wonderful what happens when Christ displaces worry at the center of your life. Summing it all up, friends, I'd say you'll do best by filling your minds and meditating on things true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious, the best, not the worst, the beautiful, not the ugly, things to praise, not things to curse. Put into practice what you learned from me, what you heard and saw and realized. Do that, and God, who makes everything work together, will work you into his most excellent harmonies. Paul tells us God doesn't want his children holding grudges. I looked up synonyms for grudge, and here's what I found: resentment, spite, umbrage, offense, grievance, bone to pick, axe to grind, crow to pluck, that one's British, bitterness, ill will, malice, rancor, enmity, animosity. Well, it goes on, but you get the picture. Conscious or unconscious, admit it or not, we all hold grudges. To harbor a grudge, to cherish a grudge, to cling to a grudge. It's unclear to me just where the word grudge got started. Was it Middle English grudgen, which means to grumble? Was it Middle German grogesen, to howl? I'm inclined to the German, because it feels to me like a grudge rises from a howl in my soul, a hurting place that only God can heal. Funny how my first instinct, when I feel the blade go in and the howling starts, is to blame someone else. I wonder if Euodia and Syntyche ever talked through their hurt and worked out some kind of respectful accommodation. Let's hope so. Let's keep hoping. There's hope and there's practice. Paul says to the church at Philippi, put into practice what you learned from me, what you heard and saw and realized. Do that, and God, who makes everything work together, will work you into his most excellent harmonies. I would certainly like to be worked into God's excellent harmonies. You wouldn't want me in the choir. But there might be a place for a hopeful poet, and surely there's a place for someone learning to spend more time tending her own business and less time reacting to yours. And yet, some say, and believe me, that often includes me, why should I have to work so hard at my practice? What about him, or her, or them, over there, on the airwaves, in my face, flinging mud and ugly curses? And then I remember, sometimes, that Jesus said to Peter, "Don't you be pointing over there. What is that to you? You, right here, right now, follow me." One of my assignments in harmonizing, in following Jesus, seems to be color. In Matthew chapter 5, Jesus elaborates, "Let me tell you why you are here. You're here to be light, bringing out the God colors in the world. God is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this, as public as a city on a hill. If I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? I'm putting you on a light stand. Now that I've put you there on a hilltop, a light stand, shine. Keep open house. Be generous with your lives. By opening up to others, you'll prompt people to open up with God, this generous Father in heaven. God, so generous, God, the source of all that is true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious. That's who I want to tell about. Before I can bring out the God colors, though, I need to bring in some colors. I need to have noticed colors, filled my mind with colors, meditated on colors, built up a lifetime of impressions of beautiful, blessed color, until I'm well on my way to being a great big old transparent prism, ready to bend the light and share it with you. Here's an example. 2 years ago, I was at the grocery store, usual list in hand, when I stopped in my tracks, arrested by a table full of odds and ends, end of the summer objects, marked down to move fast. Now the last thing I need at my age is more objects. And yet, there before my eyes was heaven, more literally, ribbed glass jars in a rainbow of colors. I did have to look past the heavy rope around their necks, there to make them look nautical or something. I looked past the rope, lost in wonder, and some unexpected grace was in that place. Sound of sheer silence, heart strangely warmed. A release into God time, a release into the eternal. Now why should that be, do you think? Well, it could be that once upon a time, in my grandmother Ruth's kitchen window, were bottles and jars of every color, catching the morning light, turning the room into a rainbow. My grandmother collected color and showed it to anyone with eyes to see. Evidently, that miracle magic is still in me, and now is my time to pass it on. And that is why I went home with 3 glass jars, red, yellow, and blue, which I relieved of their heavy collars as quick as I could, thus free to shine These jars have lit up my kitchen ever since. For a long time I found these primary colors to be sufficient for the day, for the cares thereof. Now, in this holy, yet wholly horrible year of 2020, which I can do very little about, I'm walking through the same grocery store when something directs my eyes to an inconspicuous shelf in the floral department. You got it, glass jars. Red, yellow, blue, and, oh wait, orange. The most heavenly shade of orange, clear orange, with a diamond pattern. I reached. My hand drew back. I reached again. I thought, how silly. And suddenly I'm thinking, rainbow after the storm. Maybe my windowsill wants a rainbow. I can do that. There are worse ways to spend $7. Then, on a roll, I found an equally inexpensive emerald green online. And a purple with a tree pattern should be here this weekend, all the way from a lady named Elizabeth in Colorado. This may seem to you, and in fact is, a trivial pursuit. But if I don't use my particular circumstances and my particular divine nudges to fill my mind and spill my measure of light, who will? And after all, the saints have said, it's the little things that charm the heart of God. May it be so. Summing it all up, friends, I'd say you'll do best by filling your minds and meditating on things true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious, the best, not the worst, the beautiful, not the ugly, things to praise, not things to curse. Put into practice what you learned from me, what you heard and saw and realized. Do that, and God, who makes everything work together, will work you into his most excellent harmonies.
Do not wait until some deed of greatness you may do. Do not wait to shed your light afar. Hard times hit our shining seas, oh my Lord, it's true. Bright in the corner where you are. Bright in the corner where you are. Bright in the corner where you are. You know change it is a coming. Well, it ain't change, it is a calling. Well, it ain't that far.